Welcome to Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artwork creations. In this particular video, we will be looking at images of the Jerusalem Temple Mount, Dome in the Rock, outer wall stone rectangular window frame images of a central Ethiopian cross that is being flanked by a 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares within the upper left and right hand corners and lower left and right hand corners. This is where we rediscover the black African couching lion sphinx of ancient Giza, Gaza, Gath, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. We rediscover his stone rectangular window frame images in the Middle East upon the octagonal building structure outer wall surface area within the stone rectangular window frames, where we see the original globe earth step pyramid Mercator projections of the book of Psalms 105th chapter and 23rd verse, 12 sons of Jacob. According to the book of Psalms, we see the book Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse, lion sphinx of Ethiopia entering into ancient Egypt amongst the 12 sons of Jacob as the 4th son of Jacob, where we currently see him today as he's couched down in front of the ISIAIAH 1919 Giza pyramids, in which appears when you view them from a helicopter. When you go to the Giza pyramid complex and look straight down upon the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares as the Giza pyramid square bases, we see the same aerial view Egyptian pyramid square bases as 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares within the Dome in the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames, as they are seen flanking a central Ethiopian cross. Now, this Ethiopian cross has a vertical rectangular section and a horizontal rectangular section and a square within the center of the Ethiopian cross. Now, this is where we discover the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares generated by the vertical rectangular section of the Ethiopian cross and the horizontal section. Now, the square is overlapping the vertical and horizontal section. Now, if you put this cross on the blank sheet of paper within a circle, using the wall clock in your living room, we have 12 hours surrounding the circle of the wall clock, or on your wristwatch. So when you draw the 12 to 6 o'clock, that's the vertical section, and 9 to 3 o'clock, that's the horizontal section. Now you're going to draw on the blank sheet of paper this circle and the vertical from section of the Ethiopian cross from 12 to 6 o'clock position, and the horizontal section from 9 to 3 o'clock position. Now this is on a white blank sheet of paper within a circle. Now the square then, when you draw a line from 10 to 2 o'clock and from 7 to 4 o'clock. Okay, now when you draw the line from 8 to 4 o'clock and 10 to 2 o'clock, that's the square. So now we have just completed a vertical rectangular section and a horizontal rectangular section and a square. Now within the circle. So the circle is the octagonal equatorial perimeter of the globe earth. Octagonal rough. Now once we draw enclose this Ethiopian cross within octagon on the blank sheet of paper, we will have discovered the Dome in the Rock octagonal rough globe earth equatorial perimeters. Now once we've completed this octagon on a blank sheet of paper with the Ethiopian cross within it, we see then that the 1, 2, 3 Giza pyramids, as seen from a helicopter, as 1, 2, 3 grouped of pyramid squares upon the Giza pyramid complex. They appear within the Dome in the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames flanking a central Ethiopian cross, in which we just discovered to represent the globe earth octagonal equatorial perimeter, as seen in a North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. Now, once we've isolated the Dome in the Rock octagonal equatorial perimeters of the globe Earth. So we're talking about the 2121 globe Earth rectangular King's Chamber dimensions. This is where we make one of the greatest archaeological and theological and astronomical discoveries of all time, because we have now uncovered the master masonry in archaeology and astronomy of the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Jerusalem that ruled over ancient Giza, Gaza, Gath, Palestine, Ethiopia. Now, once we uncover the globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projections, we must identify them within the dome of the rock octagonal equatorial perimeters of the globe Earth, because this is where we see the book of Revelation 21:18 returning Jupiter-sized, well, it's cube A structure in New Jerusalem, but it's also the size, there's a second cube in orbit around our sun as the size of the moon. Now, once we uncover the stealth pyramid globe Earth Mercator projection of the ISIAIAH 1919 Giza pyramids, lion sphinx, we must first identify the 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares within the dome of the rock octagonal roof, which represent the North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. So when you look at the golden dome in the center of the octagon, now the golden dome also represents the bar-shaped female UFO, but we'll get into that another time. But when we talk about the astronomical data concerning black orbiting cube A structure in New Jerusalem, in which the National Space Administration SOHO satellite imagery has filmed in orbit around our sun, this is where we reconnect modern astronomy and modern astronomical events to the Jerusalem Temple Mount outer wall stone rectangular window frame, a globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projections of the book of Psalms 105th chapter 23rd verse 12 sons of Jacob, in which left the Babylonian stealth pyramid civilization of Ham located in modern Iraq as they crossed that thin strip of water and entered into North Africa. So here we see the globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projections within the dome of the rock stone rectangular window frames appearing as 5 blocks that you stack on top of one another, that they form a step that you walk upon on the right side. And if you stack 5 blocks, that they form a step that you walk upon on the left side, make sure that the 5th block on the left and right side is touching at the top. Now when you stand back and look at it, you're looking at the Queen's Chamber niche within the Pyramid of Khufu. The first room in the Giza Pyramid is called the Queen's Chamber, and on the back wall we see carved out of the solid stone wall 5 blocks, 5 stone blocks that looks like you stack them on top of one another, that they form a step that you walk upon on the left side, and 5 blocks stacked upon top of one another that they form a step that you walk upon on the right side. So now, as we uncover and unlock the lion sphinx of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse in the King James Bible, globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projections to the cube A structure of New Jerusalem, in which is now in orbit around our sun. It was filmed by the National Space Administration SOHO satellite imagery as the orbiting black cube A structure in New Jerusalem. It's the size of our, well, it's the size of Jupiter actually. But now Comet Ison also is huge, and the Chinese satellite imagery of Comet Ison, they're the only astronomers online, if you go online and look up Comet Ison's Pyramid 7 form, which connects to the Jerusalem Temple Mount globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projections. So the Chinese satellite imagery revealed a huge pyramid moving through outer space, surrounded by a ball of the holy halogen light of creation, a white light. And this pyramid, if you visualize it, is moving through black space as a comet, in which most astronomers down here on Earth refer to it as a comet. But this pyramid is rotating around and around inside of a ball of white light. And you see 2 circular motherships, they look like plates, orbiting around the pyramid. So the original image is a pyramid orbiting or rotating around and around in a ball of light, and 2 huge circular motherships, wheel within a wheel like spacecraft, or going around and around the pyramid. in this ball of white light. Now, as we connect this Pyramid 7 form of common icing that was taken by the Chinese satellite imagery, which outranks all of the other astronomical images of common icing, because it turns out that the people in China and the astronomers, they do everything well and correct. Okay, they are superb, and they outrank many of the world astronomers when it comes to telling the truth online and producing the real Pyramid 7 form of common icing. Now, when we look at the other false images of common icing placed on the internet, we see a big rock moving through outer space. When we look at the true image of common icing, we see the dome of the rock, outer wall, first level to the dome of the rock octagonal building structure. In the first wall, the first level, we see a stone rectangular window frame. Now, there's two levels, actually three levels to the outer wall of the dome of the rock. The first level has circles and octagons and triangles, pyramid triangles. Okay, I marked them off as 1, 2, 3 pyramid triangles, which represents the Giza pyramid. When you're looking straight forward at them, standing in front of them, you see 1, 2, 3 triangles. Okay, now to the octagonal wall, you only have 4 doors. So there's 8 walls to this octagonal building structure in Jerusalem that has this golden dome. Okay, so there's 4 doors and only 8 walls. So now when you approach the stone rectangular window frames flanking the entrance door, you will see 2 dual X's in stone, one below the other. When you connect the lines of these stone X's within this stone rectangular window frame flanking the entrance door, you connect the lines to the next stone X and the base lines and side lines and split them, because each X is composed of like 4 rectangles. So you have 8 rectangles to connect lines to one another, to the upper rectangle X images and the lower stone X images. So the resulting image is that of an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO interlocking with a cube structure and the base or bottom of the stone rectangular window frame. So this is flanking the entrance door. So this seemed to be the chief message of the Jerusalem Temple Mount, dome of the rock, octagonal building structure, outer wall surface area, stone rectangular window frame. So why is the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount being concerned about or implementing common icing? Because we see this inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7 taken by the Chinese satellite imagery moving through outer space towards Earth, and we see the dome of the rock, outer wall, stone rectangular window frame flanking the entrance door, dual stone X's. When you connect these lines together to the upper X and the lower X within the stone rectangular window frame, the resulting image within that stone rectangular window frame is that we see these 2 dual stone X's generating an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO, in which interlocks with the cube structure in Jerusalem at the base of the stone rectangular window frame. Which brings us back to the 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares that's seen flanking the central Ethiopian cross. Now, this is the second level of the dome of the rock octagonal building structure, outer wall surface area within the stone rectangular window frames. Now, we also see sideways orientated Masonic squares. So we see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we see 6 squares. Okay, sideways orientated Masonic square, and then we see a stone rectangular window frame with a central Ethiopian cross. Then we see 6 vertical sideways orientated Masonic squares, and then we see a stone rectangular window frame. Now the Lion Sphinx message is seen within all of the stone rectangular window frames on the outer surface of the dome of the rock in Jerusalem. And this is where we uncover the globe earth style pyramid Mercator projection of the 12 sons of Jacob. Now, as it relates to the 1, 2, 3 Giza pyramids as seen from a helicopter, where we see the 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames, as the 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid bases, square bases in North Africa. So when we talk about who's returning to the Jerusalem Temple Mount, it has to do with the Ethiopian cross in modern Lalibela, because when we go to modern Lalibela and look at this stone cross-shaped building structure that was carved out of solid bedrock, the area that it was left formed a square. If you jump down in this square, it's so deep that once you reach the bottom and look up, you're looking up from the book of Revelation 21:18, returning cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. Why? Because every cube has a square for a ceiling, a square for a floor, a square for a left and right wall. So as we identify the black African couching lion sphinx of ancient Giza and Gaza, Palestine and Jerusalem, globe earth stealth pyramid Mercator projection within the dome of the rock outer wall, stone rectangular window frames, we have rediscovered it within the base of the cross-shaped building structure in Ethiopia, in a place called Lalibela, emerging out of the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem floor. So when we take a snapshot of the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem in Lalibela in Ethiopia, where we see this stone cross-shaped building structure that was carved out of solid bedrock, the area that was left formed a square. And when you jump down in there and look up, you're looking up from the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. So here's where we discover who returned to the Jerusalem Temple Mount. It all is, and we see it when we look at the 12 to 6 o'clock position. Like if you get in a helicopter and look straight down upon the cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela, then you will see the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame, globe earth stealth pyramid Mercator projection, which appears as at the base of the Lalibela cross-shaped building structure in Ethiopia. So now, as we reconnect the archaeology and astronomy together, because they are one, you can't separate them. I mean, when it comes to the pyramid and the dome of the rock, octagonal, equatorial, globe earth stealth pyramid Mercator projections of the book of Psalms, 105th chapter, 23rd verse, 12 sons of Jacob, that entered into ancient Egypt, where we see the fourth son of Jacob in Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse as the lion of the tribe of Judah, or the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Giza and Gaza in Palestine. We see him entering into ancient Egypt as the fourth son of Jacob amongst the 12 sons of Jacob, where we currently see him today as he's couched down in front of the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramids as the lion sphinx of the tribe of Judah. So as we rediscover the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount, outer wall stone rectangular window frame, turns out to be the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramid, 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares flanking the central Ethiopian cross. So this redirects 100 million Afro-Americans and Christians all around the world to Ethiopia, to a place called Lalibela. This is where, when we look at this Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure from a helicopter, it's emerging out of the book of Revelation 21:18, cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. Now, what's emerging from the floor of the cube structure of New Jerusalem is the stealth pyramid Mercator projections. And they look like 5 blocks in which you stack on top of one another, that they form a step that you walk upon on the left side, and 5 blocks that you stack on top of one another, that they form a step that you walk upon on the right side. Now, this is what we see in the base, at the base of the Lalibela cross-shaped building structure in Ethiopia. So it turns out to be the same design within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames, as this Ethiopian cross is seen being flanked by 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares. So when we uncover who returned to the Jerusalem Temple Mount, we must look at the wall area 8, or the wall of the cubic dimensions in New Jerusalem in the Lalibela cross-shaped building structure wall enclosure area. So that tells us who returns to the Jerusalem Temple Mount. Now, first of all, when we look at the wall in Ethiopia, the cubic dimensions, the wall of the cube structure of New Jerusalem, in which every Christian is waiting on to return back to planet Earth. Now, when we look at Lalibela, where the answer lies within the cubic wall. Okay, so we're talking about this square area that was left after the cross-shaped building structure was carved out of solid bedrock. And if you jump down in it, and once you reach the bottom and look up, you're looking up from the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. So when we look at the cross-shaped building structure base, we see a stealth pyramid in Babylon, in South America, and the stealth pyramid in Saqqara. So we see them as 5 blocks stacked on top of one another, that they form a step that you walk upon on the left side, and 5 blocks stacked on top of one another, that they form a step that you walk upon on the right side. Now, once we identify this at the base of the cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela, we have identified the Ethiopian lion sphinx of ancient Giza, Gaza, Palestine, and Jerusalem, original globe Earth scale pyramid Mercator projection to the book of Revelation, moon-sized orbiting black cube-based structure of New Jerusalem around our sun. So this is where 1 John 1:1, 15 billion year old holy hydrogen-lighted creation that existed in the black outer regions of space before they created in astronomy the 5 billion year old Earth. So this is the light that enters the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. Crystallographic projecting 1-to-1 atomic plane, and our second sun appears in our solar system. But when the second sun appears in our solar system, we see Malachi 4:2 winged sun disk connected to the Giza pyramids. First room called the Queen's Chamber. Now on the back wall of the Queen's Chamber, we see the same 5 blocks stacked on top of one another on the left side and the right side, that they form a step that you walk upon on both sides. So this is the image of the Queen's Chamber, globe Earth scale pyramid Mercator projection of the book of Genesis 49th chapter and 8th verse, biblical North African counting lion sphinx of ancient Jerusalem, Giza, Gaza, Palestine, and Ethiopia. So when we talk about the modern astronomical events concerning the National Space Administration, SOHO satellite image orbiting moon-sized cube structure in New Jerusalem around our sun, we can now reconnect it to Comet Ice and Pyramid 7 form as they move to outer space. A rotating pyramid in a ball of white light that has 2 motherships orbiting around this pyramid. Now when we return back to the Dome of the Rock outer wall, first level, there's 2 levels to the octagonal building structure in Jerusalem that has a golden dome. So the first level is where we see the 4 doors, only 4 doors, but there's 8 walls. So when you look at the image of my video, the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount entrance door is seen in the stone rectangular window frame that's flanking the doorway on the left and right side. Now the right side, as shown in this video, when you look at my 1, 2, 3 arrow, and my red arrow pointing to 1, 2, 3 triangles within the first level of the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame. Now, okay, that identifies the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramids. When you're looking straight at them, they look like 1, 2, 3 triangles. So when we look at the doorway, we see the 1, 2, 3 Giza pyramid. That means that was the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount. It had nothing to do with the Greek and Roman image of Jesus or Jehovah. Get that nonsense out your mind. Why? Because it was a part of the book of Daniel 8:12, Greek and Roman conquerors over the biblical Holy Land area of Giza, Gaza, Gath, EKRON, ESKALON, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. So it was the same Greek devil eye up on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid. If you take a dollar bill out your pocket and turn it over, you see that the Dome of the Rock, the chief focus, was about the 1, 2, 3 North African pyramids of Khufu and the lion sphinx of Ethiopia. Okay, 1, 2, 3 globe Earth scale pyramid Mercator projection to the book of Revelation returning cube A structure in New Jerusalem. Now, this Greek devil eye that conquered Africa is on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid. We see the Masonic eye, and it's in front of the sun. Okay, so if you take a dollar bill out your pocket or purse and turn it over, you'll see that the Greek, Daniel 8:12 Greek and Roman conquerors over the biblical Holy Land areas of Giza, Gaza, Gath, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem, their eye is in front of the sun throne of God that created the 9 planets within our solar system on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid. So as long as they conceal the sun throne of God to the normal hidden humans that was created in Genesis 2:7, such as you and me and the rest of the world, that now populate the entire world in the Middle East. We're talking about the 12 DNA variety pack of all of humanity that descended from the normal hidden Adam and Eve that was created in Genesis 2:7. So this is why we see the African lion sphinx facing east toward the sun, and the Dome of the Rock is pyramid focus in North Africa, which is seen within the stone rectangular window frame as 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid triangles, flanking the doorway, left side, the right side. Now the left side of the doorway, it has a stone rectangular window frame. So when you look at the 41 lion sphinx ossuary, okay, in this video, you'll see that the sphinx hexagon, which is an X with a line going straight through the X from north to south. But the sphinx ossuary that was discovered in 1980 Tapia, Jerusalem, in the Lost Tomb of Jesus. This ossuary looked like an ice cooler you use on a summer day at the beach. So it's that's the size of this brown stone ossuary. But on the left and right side of this ossuary that was discovered in the 1980 Lost Tomb of Jesus in Tapia, Jerusalem, in its cave area, that's the Lion Sphinx data of the globe Earth, Arctic Circle. So you look at the North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. That's when you place the Earth at your feet and look straight down upon it like a basketball. And you take the dominant rock octagonal roof and place it halfway level within the basketball. So if you're running around the basketball, as you're looking down at the basketball-shaped Earth at your feet, you're running around the dominant rock octagonal roof. So we have discovered the octagonal equatorial perimeter of the globe Earth. Now, the Sphinx ossuary 41 has the 66-degree latitude of the globe Earth holy hydrogen light of creation. That's coming from the sun 93 million miles away across the black outer regions of space as solar wind in astronomy. It's a stream of charged ionized hydrogen light. So we see the Lion Sphinx solar theology of message of the dominant rock outer wall, stone rectangular window frames, with the front surface of the 41 ossuary. Now this 41 ossuary hexagon appears within the circle. That incorporates the human cell 75 holy hydrogen light creation that's seen within the electron microscope, a million times magnified in Biology 101. So the human cell ganglia lines, when you see the chemical circle for the human cell in Biology 101, a million times magnified. Okay, you see a black dot in the center of that chemical circle area of the human cell as the cell nucleus. Now you see the holy hydrogen light creation glowing around the chemical circular area of the human cell in this ionized circular holy hydrogen light creation plasma form. That's 1 John 1:1, biblical light, the light of every man that cometh into the world. So the light within all of the human body is glowing, is seen in microbiology, glowing around the chemical circular area of the human cell. I call it the human cell 75.